This is another glorious view of a stream going down between two mountains. You see the clouds. It was raining about 5 minutes ago. The weather constantly is changing. And this is Ireland. This is what makes it beautiful. Look at the grass. Green, green grass. There's no more thatched houses except in tourist traps. Hey, video fans. What a beautiful, gorgeous day. We're now here going around the Ring of Kerry. And we're looking at the Atlantic Ocean again. And across the bay is the roads we were on yesterday. What a beautiful place. Here's a whole row of the homes. They look like they may have been built by the same builder, with a gabled roof that starts off and then the large room. They look like ranches to me. They may have basements. I don't know. But I notice how they all have wall enclosures. One person covered the wall with greenery. But that's an Irish thing. They want the house walled off with a fence made of masonry. All right, here's the warning. Ballycarby Castle, close the book. Strictly no events. Cool. Beautiful little castle. Traditional attributes of this building of the castle of Barbary O'Shea, but it is more. Firmly associated with the McCarthys, some form of residence appears to have stood here as early as 1398, when the death of Ingrid McCartley there is recorded in the annals. However, the existing ruins are later to date and are probably those of the castle of Valentia, called Ballycarrow, referred to in 1588. It is noted McCarthy Moor Castle of 1594. Okay, this castle apparently closed to the public, but you can see it's a really old pool castle. Let's zoom in a little. Really old and really... You hear the noise? It sounds like wind, doesn't it? That's not from a speaker. That's from outdoors. That's the wind. This is looking down at Valentia Island, where the first transatlantic cable to Newfoundland was laid in 1858. Prior to that, it took 2 weeks to talk to people in the New World. Once this first cable was laid, you could talk to people in the New World in 2 minutes. This is the old barracks, or the police constabulary. It's situated right on the river, as you see from the photos that we've attached to this. And they can monitor the ongoing of the town, smuggling, and what was going on the bay coming in from the ocean. This is the police constabulary, about 1800, I think. Okay, video fans, this is the famous town of Waterville. Well, that is the Atlantic Ocean you're looking at outside, just past that mountain range. And this is the famous place that Charlie Chaplin came every year with his family. This is the statue they've erected to Charlie Chaplin.
Yes.
And that's okay. And it's a big tourist attraction as well. So those people know that they're in Waterville. He came here every summer with his family and fell in love with the place. constant wind off the Gulf Stream. Probably that's going to be annoying to hear. But this is where the Gulf Stream dumps and ends its journey. Wind here is, I'd estimate, a constant 20 to 30 miles an hour. That's why it's probably cool in the summer. And that's why Charlie Chaplin probably liked it here in Waterville. And out there's the Atlantic Ocean. Ain't going too big today. Tide is still out. It's still going back in. Tide at this level, the Earth is about 8 to 10 feet. Guest hotel. Butler Arms Hotel. Pretty big. So a little cast. It's another shot of the town of Waterville. It's really relatively small. It's about 2 streets. A lot of guest houses, a lot of hotels.
This is the view from the front of the Valentia Royal Hotel. This is where the ferries drop you off. See the mountains in the background. Body of water. This is the view at the breakfast table in the Royal Valentia Hotel. Great place. Very enjoyable. Very nice people. This is an abandoned home or business of some sort next door to the hotel that I'm staying at. Looks interesting. You probably have to put a lot of money into it to fix it up. But it really, with a view, probably of the bay, Valentia Bay, you probably see outward to the Atlantic Ocean from certain parts of that home. This is a tower that I sadly don't recall the name of, but I wanted to talk to you about some things anyway. What happened here is very windy in Valentia Island on this day 2 of our trip to Valentia Island, and the wind was going at constant at least 30 miles an hour. So I didn't have the right microphone. I was trying to use the microphone on the iPhone to record. I should have had a different kind of mic that had some rubber padding around to protect it. But I wanted to talk to you about several things. This is a view of a typical Irish road. And that's why I recommend that you get Collins' Irish Atlas. It's listed in the More section attached to this video. It's only about $18, I believe, because if you use Google Maps or Waze or any of the other programs, you're going to find yourself on a cowpath, because they really don't concern themselves with the quality of the road, but just the shortest distance. And certainly in Ireland, all roads are not equal. This is showing some of the beautiful farmland on the island of Valentia. I really wish we had more time to spend on Valentia. You could probably spend a week on Valentia Island. It's an often overlooked spot. You're not going to find a lot of tourists here. You're not going to find a lot of buses here. It's quiet. It's peaceful. We stayed in the Royal Valentia Hotel last evening, which is about a 40-room hotel with a great restaurant and a bar. It was wonderful. And there's a lot to see here in Valentia Island. This is, as you probably know, is the place that the first transatlantic cable came from, and went from here across the Atlantic Ocean, because it's the most western point in Ireland, to Newfoundland, Canada. And what used to take 2 weeks via ship to get information back and forth between Ireland and the Americas now is down to a matter of seconds via a telegraph. That was in 1858. That cable, unfortunately, only lasted a couple of weeks. Then something happened to it. It was rebuilt about 10 years later with a much better cable that kept working until the 50s, actually. This is the top of Gorkin Mountain, and it talks about some of the things you can see. On a clear day, you should be able to see Skellig Island, where the Star Wars movie was filmed, or part of it was filmed. And you can also, there's lots of other things to do on this island. They actually have, because of a constant Gulf Stream flow, they actually have tropical plants growing on the island of Valentia. There's also and they grow all year long because the temperature never really goes much below 50 degrees because of the Gulf Stream constantly bringing water and moisture to this part of Ireland. It is a damp climate as well. And there's the Skellig Lighthouse you can see, which is on Valentia Island, which overlooks Skellig Island. We didn't have time to do many things I wanted to do. There's also another part of this place where you can go to a place where they actually have located footprints from dinosaurs that are in the rock near the sea, where they may have come out of the sea, and they first came out of the sea into the mud, which then turned eventually into rock. So you can see the footprints of the first animals that came out of the sea and were early versions of dinosaurs here. This is a really unusual place. There's lots to see, lots to do. The cliffs of Moher are constantly filled with tourists and busloads of people. You can come here and see cliffs that are almost as interesting, almost as exciting, with a lot less people. So enjoy. This is dinner at the Valentia Royal Hotel. This is the view of Valentia Bay. Want to see something really interesting as an American? Here is the ketchup, the mustard, and the mayonnaise that they serve. Let's look at the ingredients. What seems to be missing? High fructose corn syrup is missing. Many of the oils that would normally appear are missing. Look closely at the mayonnaise. It says repressed oil, pasteurized egg, water, spirit vinegar, sugar, salt, lemon juice from concentrate, mustard flavoring, color, paprika extract, and antioxidant calcium disodium. What do we have in the ketchup? We have tomatoes, shocking, sugar, vinegar, modified salt, or modified starch, salt, barley, and vinegar and spices. What do we have in the mustard? It's hard to see. Mustard, shockingly, we have water, mustard, sugar, salt, cornstarch, spirit vinegar, citric acid, and reprocessed oil, turmeric, stabilizer, and well, I can't see it here. Exorin gum, whatever that is, natural color, lucien, and natural flavoring. All the chemicals that normally appear in American products don't seem to be present in the EU. These aren't really sharp drop-offs up here. Down further they are, and here you can see some of the cliffs, waves,
wasn't gas. It's always that way here. It's just the way it is. You see, this is a Marlin. It's a any of the parts of the soil on them. That's if they pour up seaweed and clay, dumped it on the earth, and made their own soil. You even see the farming. Some sort of farm. Some of the big walls that went up to the top of the mountain. So, well, those walls were probably built hundreds of years ago. They're still there. What a beautiful place. What a beautiful spot. So I said to my son, how much did a house with a view of the Atlantic Ocean sell for in the United States? He said at least $1 million. And here I have a feeling they're a lot less. More. We're now inside the Skellig Michael Experience Center, and we're looking at the town on the other side of the harbor, and the bridge we're going to go over shortly to save the 16 euros. We're on the Ring of Kerry. Got about 50 miles left. Ring of Kerry. And looking over the cliff and looking down. Yeah, it's not that bad. Look how solid this is. Someplace it's not quite as solid. Look at the mountain. This is really a scene of extreme volcanic activity. I'm not sure when, but probably 300 million years ago. Look at how green the little farmhouse patches are down there. Those little white dots you see in the distance, they are sheep. Get a little better look at the sheep. This place is absolutely spectacularly beautiful. There's a tourist and look like this. Long way to Kenmore, about 3 kilometers away. I'm looking forward to going to Kenmore. This is apparently quite Kenmore these days. I take a shortcut back to Pawnee. So we should finish this Ring of Kerry tour today in about an hour. I may come back and do it later this week. And now we know we're coming back for a month next year. And you may or may not be able to hear me. We're on the way back to Killarney. We're probably a half hour from Killarney. And these are some more mountains. No trees. I have a feeling there's not enough soil for trees to grow there. The sun's about to come out in some places. That's the winding mountainous road to Killarney. Lots of roads like that in America, too. Beautiful mountains in the background. This is the Volca restaurant and coffee shop and gift shop. They're sort of doing cloning what was done at a place called Ladies View. We are previously on the Ring of Kerry, and they sell sandwiches and food and coffee and soup.